Okay, the idea here is that you have to see the picture, okay? And you have to give me sentences, okay? The idea also is that you have to use in your sentence some, any, much, not much, or not many, okay? Depend of the picture. For example, what ingredients can you see? Okay, depend of the picture, you have to give me some sentences like this. For example, there are some onions, you can say. Yes, I can see 2 onions. It's countable. And I can say another example. There are 2 onions, right? Talking about cheese, for example, I think that this is the cheese. There isn't much cheese. No hay mucho queso, right? The next example, there aren't any carrot. For example, there aren't any carrot. Okay, yes, we can see any carrot. That's why negative sentence. There aren't any carrot. No hay ninguna, nada de zanahoria, ¿cierto? Okay, the next ingredients, please, students. I need some sentences. You have to tell me, what can you see? Depend on the picture, please. Come on, what can you see?
There are some tomatoes.
Very good. How many tomatoes are there?
There are 2 tomatoes.
2 tomatoes. Continue, please, students. Continue. Describe.
There are 2 potatoes.
Yeah. Very good.
There are some milk.
Yeah, okay. There are some milk. Yes, that's it, right? Continue. Remember the ingredients also. If you can see any, you can use the sentence like this. You can say, there aren't any minced beef, for example, right? Come on.
There aren't.
There aren't, okay. There aren't any. There aren't any carrot. Look at here, we have the oil. That's it. Pero puedes decir, no hay mucho, por ejemplo. No hay poquito. No hay mucho, porque la idea es usar some, any, not much, not many. ¿Ok? Recordando el aceite. Ok, aceite incontable. Entonces, not much. ¿Cómo decimos? No hay mucho aceite.
There isn't much oil.
Very good. There isn't much oil. Yes, no hay mucho aceite, ¿cierto? Okay, continue, please. I'm going to write your answers. Okay, you have to describe a picture, remember. You are going to tell me again your sentences. Okay, here I think. For example, there isn't much oil. Okay, yes. There isn't much oil. No hay mucho aceite. Yes, very good. Let's continue one by one again. Oh, there. Please, any other idea?
There isn't any minced beef.
Very good. There isn't any minced beef, right? La carne molida, eso se refiere, minced beef. Okay, the next one.
There isn't much potatoes.
Okay, we can say, but we can see 2, right? Podemos ver 2. Entonces, podemos decir, por ejemplo.
Sí, más lo decía porque dice 4, entonces dije, no hay mucho.
Yeah, okay, it's okay. But I think that we can write these 2 examples. There are some potatoes. right? Let me write it here. There are some potatoes, right? Or
There
also
isn't.
we can say, remember, tienen que usar también not much, not many. Ok, much para lo incontable y many para lo contable. Y las papas, ok, podemos contar uno por uno, ¿no ve? Se puede contar. Entonces podemos decir, there aren't many potatoes. ¿Por qué? Porque es contable. Aquí eso nos tenemos que acordar, ¿sí, chicos? There aren't many potatoes, ¿no? Podemos decir esto. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué estamos cambiando? Porque many es con lo contable. Se puede usar. Ahora en much, siempre con lo incontable. ¿Ok? Bien. Another example, maybe, please. Look at the picture, look at the picture. And remember the ingredient.
There isn't much time.
Yeah, very good. There isn't much time, right? Yeah, very good. Continue on. Continue, continue. What other ingredients do we need for this recipe? Or maybe you can see. Come on, students, come on, more examples. Talking about salt, for example.
There isn't much salt and black pepper.
Yeah, very good. There isn't
Any.
any.
Sorry.
Any salt and pepper. Right? No hay nada, no se puede ver, ¿cierto? And here we have only this one, but a little bit. That's why there isn't much time here. Continue, please. What other ingredients can you see?
There isn't much milk.
Okay. But no, look at the milk. We have how many bottles of milk do we have? How many?
3.
Yes, so we can say there is some milk.
There aren't.
There is some milk. Okay, hay algunos, ¿cierto? O podemos decir there are 3 bottles of milk, right? 3 bottles of milk. Yes, that's it. We can see. Please come on. Another idea, students. What about the butter? Can you see? Here we have butter. Look at. What can you say? Hablando de la mantequilla. Please, any idea?
There isn't much butter.
There isn't much butter. Yeah, because it's uncountable, right? We can count butter. So we can say there isn't much butter. Okay. Continue, please, class. What do we need? What can you see? What's this?
There are 2 tomatoes.
There are 2 tomatoes. Armando una oración negativa, ¿no ve? ¿Cuántos tomates necesita? How many tomatoes do they need for the recipe?
4.
4. And they only have 2, right? Entonces podemos decir, no tienen mucho. ¿Cómo decimos no tienen muchos tomates? Sí.
There aren't
There aren't
Tomatoes.
Many
There
potatoes.
aren't Many potatoes. Ok, aquí estamos
Many.
añadiendo el many. ¿Por qué? Porque el many podemos usar con las cosas contables, ¿no? En nuestra oración negativa. Entonces, podemos decir, there aren't many tomatoes, right? Ok, no tienen mucho, pero tienen unos dos. Entonces, no tienen muchos, right? There aren't many tomatoes. What about carrot? Okay, we have the example. There aren't any carrots, right? They want to cook, but they only need some ingredients, right? Okay. Another ingredient? Which is missing maybe? No? No? Okay, we have here to write, oh, okay, here we have, there are some onions. Yes, we have, there are some onions. And I think that's it, right? Okay, let's have a look, please, students. Let's read. Talking about the receipt. There isn't much oil. Look at the picture, right? There's a little bit, a few. There isn't much. That's why here we have this sentence. There isn't much oil, ¿ok? Entonces aquí, chicos, estamos ampliando nuestro vocabulario, ¿no? Some, any, yes. We are using some, any in our sentence. And also we have to use not much, not many. Please listen. The next example, there isn't any minced beef, right? We can't see any. No hay, no? There isn't any minced beef. There are some potatoes. Yes, there are some. We can see two. There aren't many tomatoes. No hay muchos, no es otra forma de decir, pero con las cosas contables, ¿no? Podemos contar, eso tienen que recordar. Siempre el match va a ser con las cosas incontables y el many con lo contable. Entonces también podemos armar nuestras oraciones negativas usando many. Entonces, como este ejemplo, there aren't many tomatoes. There aren't many potatoes, for example. The next example, there isn't much time, for example, right? The next, there isn't any salt and pepper. There's, well, there isn't. We can't see. The next, there is some milk. Yes, yes, we can count and we can say there are 3 bottles of milk, for example. Yes, we can say that. The next, there isn't much butter, as you can see, right? Here we have a few, right? Un poquito. There isn't much butter. There aren't many tomatoes. Another idea, another example. No? Yes, we can see 2, but they need 4. That's why here we have our sentence. There aren't many tomatoes. No hay mucho. Okay? Now, students, we have to continue. With the next exercise. Exercise number 3. What we have to do? Complete Duncan and Nick's conversation with some, any, and much, many. Okay, but before, students, let's have a look at the grammar. Okay, revisamos un poquito de gramática antes de que puedan completar. Let's start. Here we have some rules that you have to learn. For example, rule number 1, we use many with count nouns in questions and negatives. Okay, that's a new rule for us. We use many, okay, this is different. Many with count nouns in questions and negatives. Okay, remember any, ¿no? Recuerdan el any, este es many, no se confundan, okay? For example, how many potatoes are there? Right? A question. The next, we can use also in negative sentences, right? With countable nouns. There aren't many onions. ¿No? La cebolla, la papa, podemos contar uno a uno. Y de la misma forma tenemos la pregunta y una oración negativa. The next rule, number 2, we use much with uncountable nouns in questions and negatives. Okay, as you know the rule, how much butter is there? The question. Then it's negative sentence. There isn't much oil. No hay mucho, right? Number 3, in the positive, we, sorry. In the positive, we use a lot. Okay, talking about a lot of things, right? If we want to describe a lot, we don't know exactly how, but we know that it's a lot. We have to use this. Let's have a look at examples. There are a lot of tomatoes. The next, there is a lot of milk. For example, here we can say, look at 3 bottles of milk. Okay, there are a lot of milk, right? If I don't want to be specific, I have to say, for example, oh, there are a lot of milk because here I can see 3 bottles and it's too much, right? Entonces, mucho. Pero siempre va a estar en las oraciones positivas. A lot of. Y siempre los 3 cuando va a estar en medio de la oración, ¿sí, chicos? Porque van a ver este lot of, por ejemplo, al final, pero ya no va a estar los 3. A lot of está remarcado en negrilla, ¿sí? Como se pueden ver. Pero sí van a usar a lot of en el medio, ¿ok? Porque, por ejemplo, muchas veces decimos thanks a lot. Oh, igual estoy diciendo muchas gracias, pero ya estoy desarmando el a lot of, right? Thanks a lot, for example, right? And here these 2 examples. Now let's learn more about these rules and let's go to page 139, students, please. 139. Unit 8. Okay, here we have much. Well, we have to notice the difference between the questions in special. How much, how many? And as you know, we use how much with uncount nouns, right? Always, as you know. For example, how much rice is there? As you know, rice is uncountable because we can count one by one. That's why it's considered uncountable. The next, there isn't much rice, negative sentence, right? We can say there isn't much rice. Talking about how many, we use how many with plural count nouns. For example, how many apples are there? There aren't many apples, for example, right? This is different, many, with count nouns. Con lo contable podemos armar nuestra pregunta con how many, ¿ok? Y de la misma forma esas oraciones negativas, siempre y cuando de lo que estemos hablando sea un objeto, una fruta, un alimento contable. Please. Okay, here we have these differences which are very important for our vocabulary, for our grammar knowledge. Okay, so don't forget, please, students. Now let's go back to the lesson and let's practice, please. Okay, here we have this exercise number 3. Complete Duncan and Nick's conversation with some, any, and much, many. Okay, you have to remember the rules. Please, students, come on, do it. You have to complete. It's a conversation. Please, come on. Read the instructions and complete. If it's a question, if it's a negative sentence, you have to choose the correct option, please. Okay, students, please, come on, come on. You have to imagine that is a conversation between Nick and Duncan. Look at the picture, remember? Right? Please, students, who can cook? Tell me, Nick or Duncan? Who can cook? Please, students.
Nick.
What do you think? Who can cook? Nick. Excellent. Yes. Okay, very good. Please complete. You have 2 minutes more. In 2 minutes, we are going to check together, okay? Remember that is a conversation between Nick and Duncan. And they are talking about the ingredients that they have and also the ingredients that they don't have for the cottage pie for their girlfriends, right? One minute more. Are you ready? Can we check now? Yes or not? One minute more, please, students. Then we are going to check, please. Okay, are you ready? Let's check. Okay, remember that is a conversation between Nick and Duncan. They want to prepare this cottage pie and they are talking about the ingredients that they need and they don't need, right? Okay, let's start. This recipe for cottage pie looks easy, but I can't cook at all. Don't worry, I really like cooking. No vegetables. Do we have any onions? Is a question. The next. Are there what?
Any
Any.
Very good.
any cup.
Carrots. Are there any? Are there any carrots or potatoes? Well, there are
Some.
some. Very good. There are some onions, but there aren't
Any carrots. Any carrots.
very good. There aren't any carrots. And we don't have
Some potatoes.
And we don't have what?
Many.
Many potatoes. Many potatoes. The question, how
Many.
How many do we need? Very good. How many? ¿Cuántos necesitamos? Right? Okay. 4 big ones. Okay. Okay. Put potatoes on your list. The next. And how
Many.
many tomatoes are there? Only 2 small ones. Put them on the list too. The next. How
Much.
much milk is there? Very good. The next. There's a lot, but there isn't much. Cheese or butter? Very good. There is much. The next. Okay. Cheese and butter. What about herbs, right? Imagine, for example, we have many, in Bolivia, for example, it's very common to use herbs, right? Nuestras especies, right? That's it. The meaning of herbs, okay? Do we have any? Excellent. Yes, the correct answer, any. Yeah, that's fine. But don't forget the means of beef, right? La carne molida. How
Much. Do we need?
How much? Very good. How much do we need? $500. Now, is that everything? I think so. Do we have oil and the rest you have, right? The answer, or maybe not. Let me check. Oh no, we have to complete more. Yes. Now, is that everything? I think so. Do we have oil? Oh yeah, there's some left in the bottle, right? Sí, hay algo disponible. A eso se refiere este left, okay? Very good. There is some left. Hay algo un poco disponible todavía, ¿no? There is some left in the bottle. And that's it. So now, students, let's listen and check your answers, because then we are going to practice, okay? In pairs. Let's listen, please. Let's start with this conversation between Nick and Duncan.
Tape script 8.7. Eating in.
This recipe for cottage pie looks easy.
But I can't cook at all.
Don't worry, I really like cooking. Now, vegetables. Do we have any onions? Are there any carrots or potatoes?
Well, there are some onions, but there aren't any carrots, and we don't have many potatoes. How many do we need?
4 big ones.
Okay, put potatoes on your list.
And how many tomatoes are there?
Only 2 small ones. Put them on the list too.
How much milk is there?
There's a lot, but there isn't much cheese or butter.
Okay, cheese and butter. What about herbs? Do we have any thyme?
Yeah, that's fine. But don't forget the minced beef. How much do we need?
500 grams. Now, is that everything?
I think so. Do we have oil? Oh, yeah. No, there's some left in the bottle.
Okay. First shopping, then I'll give you a cooking lesson.
Oh, I'd like that. I hope the girls like cottage pie.
Everyone likes cottage pie.
Let's listen again, students, please. Listen and please copy the pronunciation, because You have to practice in pairs after that. Let's listen again.
This recipe for cottage pie looks easy.
But I can't cook at all.
Don't worry, I really like cooking. Now, vegetables. Do we have any onions? Are there any carrots or potatoes?
Well, there are some onions, but there aren't any carrots, and we don't have many potatoes. How many do we need?
4 big ones.
Okay, put potatoes on your list.
And how many tomatoes are there?
Only 2 small ones. Put them on the list too.
How much milk is there?
There's a lot, but there isn't much cheese or butter.
Okay, cheese and butter. What about herbs? Do we have any thyme?
Yeah, that's fine. But don't forget the minced beef. How much do we need?
500 grams. Now, is that everything?
I think so. Do we have oil? Oh, yeah. There's some left in the bottle.
Okay, first shopping, then I'll give you a cooking lesson.
Oh, I'd like that. I hope the girls like cottage pie.
Everyone likes cottage pie.
Okay, students, please now, please let's practice. I need 2 students, Nick and Duncan. In that case, boys, please. Christian? Christian?
Present me.
Okay, Christian, you are Nick. Please, you have to practice this conversation as a Nick. And please, let me check. Andy,
Yes, miss.
you are Duncan, okay? So,
Okay.
and Andy, come on, boys. You can start.
Or cottage pie looks easy.
But I can't cook at all.
Don't worry, I really like cooking. Now, vegetables, we have any onions? Are there any carrots or potatoes?
Well, there are some onions, but there aren't any carrots, and we don't have many potatoes. How many do we need?
4 big onions.
Okay, but potatoes on your list.
And how many tomatoes are there?
Only 2 small onions, but then on the list too.
How much milk is there?
There's a lot, but there isn't much cheese or butter.
Okay, cheese and butter. What about herbs? Herbs? Do we have any time?
Yeah, that's fine, but don't forget the mace beef. How much do we need?
500 grams. Now, is that everything?
Miss, ¿lo puedes subir un poquito? Bajar de no puedo leer, estoy sin el libro.
Okay, but it's a little bit confused. Come on.
Thanks. I think so. Do we have oil? Oh yeah, there's some left in the bottle.
Bottle? Yes.
Bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first shopping, then I'll give you a cooking lesson.
I'd like that. I hope the girls like cottage pie.
Everyone likes cottage pie.
Very good, boys. Thank you. Let's practice one more time, please. I need the next 2 students. Please, Daniel. Oh, Daniel is not here today. Leonardo, please. Leonardo, hello. Ivan? Ivan, hello, hello. No? Okay, I think that Kevin, please, Kevin. Kevin Mayat.
Okay, Miss.
Okay, you are going to be Nick, please. And one of your partners, well, in that case, one girl, is going to be Duncan. So please, Veronica.
Miss,
Veronica? Yeah, okay.
Miss,
You are going to be Duncan now. Okay? Please, students, practice the conversation. Come on.
This recipe for cottage cottage pay looks
Hi.
sweet.
but I can't cook at all.
Not worry. I really like cooking. No vegetables. Do we have any onions? Are there any carrots or potatoes?
Well, there are some onions, but there aren't any carrots. And we don't have many potatoes. How many do we need?
For big ones.
Okay, but potatoes